Have you ever heard of a man who laughed in the middle of a funeral? Strange, isn't it? For what could be more inappropriate, more so offensive, than laughter among tears? Yet this is the story of such a man who laughed when all others wept, and whose laughter carried a secret so powerful it changed how his people saw life and death forever. Long ago, in the land of red earth and endless skies, there lived a man named Yo. Everyone in the village knew Yo. Not because he was the rich, nor the strongest, nor the most respected hunter, but because he had a strange habit. He often laughed when no one else did. When the goats escaped from their pen, instead of chasing them angrily, Yo would laugh. When heavy rains washed away the yam mounds, and farmers cursed the heavens, Yo would laugh. And sometimes, even when others cried, Yo's shoulders would shake, and his laughter would spill out like water from a broken calabash. Yo is not normal, the villagers often whispered. Some said he was cursed, some believed he was touched by the spirits, but one thing was certain. His laughter followed him like a shadow. Yet Yo was not cruel. His laughter was never meant to mock. In truth, he was generous and kind. He shared his harvest with widows. He helped orphans fix their roofs. He carried the weak across rivers. His laughter was strange, but his heart was good. One season, famine struck. The rains failed, and the people suffered. In that same time, death came quietly for Keka, the oldest elder of the village, a man so wise that people from far-off lands traveled to hear him speak. His funeral was the grandest the village had ever seen. Drums beat slow and deep, carrying the rhythm of sorrow. Women wailed in high-pitched laments. Men sat with bowed heads. Even children, usually restless, sat quietly, sensing the weight of the day. When Keke's body, wrapped in white cloth, was laid before the people, silence fell. It was the silence of respect, the silence of grief. Every eye lowered, every breath seemed heavy. And then it happened. From the middle of the crowd, cutting through the sacred silence like a knife, came the sound of laughter. It was, "Ya." At first, it was just a chuckle. Then it grew into a laugh so loud, so unstoppable, that even the drummers stopped drumming. Heads turned. Eyes glared. Mothers covered their children's ears as if shielding them from sacrilege. "How dare you?" someone shouted. "Yo has no respect," another cried. Laughter at KK's funeral. He should be whipped. Yo held his stomach, tears streaming from his eyes, not from sorrow, but from laughter. "Forgive me," he managed between breaths. "I could not help it." When the burial was done, the elders gathered under the baobab tree to decide Yo's fate. Chief Kwame, the leader, spoke sternly. "Yo, you have disgraced this village. You laughed while we mourned. Our father, KK, tell us why. If you cannot, your punishment will be severe." Yo bowed respectfully. "Chief Kwame, elders, people of the village, my laughter was not born of mockery. It came from what I saw. If you allow me, I will tell you." The people leaned in. When the coffin was laid down, Yo began, and you all lowered your heads. I lifted mine, and there before me stood Kekenot, lying still, but alive and radiant. His back was straight, his eyes bright, his face full of joy. He laughed and said, "Yo, why do they weep for me? I have left behind pain and hunger. I walk now where there is no death, no thirst, no sorrow. Tell them to live well, so when their time comes, they too will rejoice." And as he laughed, so too did I, for I could not contain the joy I saw. The people gasped. "Could it be true?" Some elders frowned. "Lies?" Elder Mensa snapped. He invents this to excuse his foolishness. But others were unsure. "Perhaps Yo has eyes that see beyond ours," an old woman whispered. Chief Kwame thought deeply. "We will not punish Yo yet. If his gift is real, the spirits will prove it." Weeks later, tragedy struck again. A young hunter named Kofi was killed by a wild buffalo. His funeral was swift, and the villagers gathered once more. All eyes turned to Yaw. Would he laugh again? This time, Yaw stood quietly. His face was grave, his eyes fixed on the coffin. When the burial ended, he spoke softly. I saw Kofi's spirit, but unlike Keika, he was troubled. He said, "Tell my wife not to drown herself in sorrow. Tell her to care for our son. And tell my brothers to finish the hunt, for the beast that killed me still roams the forest." The villagers listened, stunned. A group of hunters went into the forest, and sure enough, they found the great buffalo still wandering, fierce and wounded. "Te kill it, eat," just as Kofi had asked. From that day, no one doubted Yaw's strange gift. Word of Yaw spread beyond his village. People traveled from far and near to hear what he saw at funerals. Sometimes he laughed, sometimes he wept, sometimes he said nothing at all. His laughter was no longer mocked. It was feared, respected, even revered. Parents told their children, "Do not fear death, for perhaps it is laughter waiting on the other side." But Yaw carried a heavy burden. His gift was no easy blessing. Every sound he made at a funeral could shape how people remembered the dead. If Elaged families found comfort, if he wept, they trembled. If he stayed silent, they feared the worst. So Yaw prayed often. "Spirits of my fathers, let me see only truth. Let my laughter heal, not harm Yaw's final days." Years passed, and Yaw grew old. His hair turned white, his laughter softer. One day, he gathered the people and spoke. "My children, hear me. Do not think that laughter is always disrespect. Sometimes, laughter is freedom. Sometimes laughter is a song of joy from those who have crossed to the other side. When I am gone, do not fear if you hear laughter at my funeral, for it may be me, rejoicing." The people listened, their hearts heavy, for they knew Yaw was preparing them. Not long after, Yaw closed his eyes and did not open them again. The funeral of Yaw, the entire village gathered to honor him. Chief Kwame, now gray with age, led the ceremony. Drums beat slowly, women wailed, men bowed their heads. But as Yaw's body was lowered, a strange thing happened. From the trees, from the weaned very earth itself came the sound of laughter, soft at first, then rising, echoing, filling the air like music. The people froze. Then they smiled through their tears. "It is Yaw," they whispered. "He is laughing, just as he promised." And so, instead of ending in sorrow, Yaw's funeral ended in joy, for the villagers now understood what he had always tried to show them. Death is not only an ending. Sometimes, it is the beginning of laughter eternal. The tale of Yaw teaches us that appearances can deceive. Laughter at grief may seem like disrespect, yet it may carry truth and hope unseen. It reminds us that death is not only sorrow, but also release. And those with unusual gifts may hold wisdom the rest of us cannot understand.